I miss your Punkt MP02 videos. Okay. Hello there, wonderful people. This is Jerzy from his preferred car. Mind you, this car will probably be destroyed for being too old in the coming 2 or 3 months, unfortunately. It's my lovely Citroën Berlingo, which will probably go to the landfill. I want to share today with you why I don't use my Punkt MP02 anymore. And this is related actually to some information that if you want, you can find on Reddit. The information on Reddit says that there are chances that the Punkt company could be facing bankruptcy. And as I'm seeing what is happening with Punkt in the recent years, I think that there could be some truth to that. But why am I not using my Punkt anymore? I was one of the first users of the Punkt phones actually when they came to the market, you know. And I was really happy to find this kind of phone in these modern times. And I didn't really had a problem with the price tag. I think it was the most objectionable thing that people pointed to Punkt, that it's too expensive. I really liked how it was designed. I liked the materials, and therefore I said, well, yeah, it can be priced like that because it looks like a premium phone actually. And yet I have stopped using it, you know? I have stopped using it. I started searching for other alternatives. I came back several times to using a dumbed down iPhone, and then I went back to the Punkt because I was not happy. Well, first of all, and this is related to my general interest in health matters, you know, there is a big problem with the USB-C audio out on the Punkt MP02. And the problem is that it uses the USB-C basically as a charging port, but the audio, it's an analog USB-C output. And this is something that is very extremely rare these days, you know. Most of the USB-C outputs on phones and on other devices, electronic devices, it's a digital output that requires that you plug in a USB-C accessory, an audio accessory like headphones, for example, but it can be also a pair of speakers, and that this pair of speakers or those headphones actually have a DAC inside. A DAC, it's an electronic device that does the translation between a digital audio signal into an analog one. It's a digital analog converter. That's why it's called a DAC. And Punkt is very rare because Punkt is expecting that you will plug in actually a USB-C plug that will have an analog input inside and that will wait for analog signal coming through the USB-C plug. Therefore, you can basically use the dongle that is provided by Punkt in order to connect some headphones to the Punkt MP02. And I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 dongles, except this one in the world, works with this phone. The rest does not work. You know, you can buy the best, most well-reviewed item on Amazon and you are sure it will not work with Punkt MP02. And since Punkt has an awful battery life, especially for this kind of small and very simple phone, it should, in my opinion, at least work a week on standby, and it works basically 2, maybe 3 days. You can say, well, just use Bluetooth headphones, but no, because I don't want to irradiate my head with Bluetooth when I am talking on the phone, you know. I want to use my wired headphones because they sound better and because, of course, they are safer for me. I cannot use it with my Punkt because Punkt made such a weird choice, you know. And so I don't want to use Bluetooth headphones, and even if I was not worried about my health, it would impair drastically my battery life of the phone, you know. And so it's not a good solution to use some kind of external headphones with Punkt. That's the first reason, you know. The second reason is that they seem to have a problem with screens, and I have pointed this out on this channel several times already, that the screens tend to break after 1 year, maybe 2 years, and they break beyond repair, which means that some lines of the screen stop working, and then a part of the screen stops working, and finally you cannot basically use the menu because you don't see what you are choosing, you know. And this is the second reason why I don't use my Punkt. And this coupled actually to the fact that Punkt seems like it might have some financial problems. Because I could say, well, it's a good phone, exchange this phone every 2 years is fine for me. But they have become very, very hard to get. So there was a time you could get a Punkt MP02 on Amazon, you cannot anymore. The only place I have found right now, besides maybe Dumb Wireless in the United States, it's the Punkt.ch site, the manufacturer's site. And there it's back ordered and you have to pre-order basically, so you don't know exactly when the phone will be shipped, if ever it will be shipped. And so it's a risk. If you have a phone that is so vulnerable to the screen stopping working and you don't have a reliable source of getting another one, basically, why? Why should I use it? So, if they decide one day to make a Punkt MP03, I would love to see an audio jack to be able to connect wired headphones to this phone. I'd love to see maybe a possibility to install some audiobook players, or maybe a podcast player, or maybe giving people the opportunity to install in general Android apps, but it will come, of course, with downsides related to how Google is surveilling those devices, so I don't know if it's a good idea. Actually, I really enjoyed my time with the Punkt MP02. I enjoyed the fact that my kids saw me using a phone that looked like a calculator. I would love to have a flip phone, you know? The one that I can close if I stop talking. This is something from the early 2000s that I'm really nostalgic about. Resist the urge to use all those modern technical applications and smartphones and be free. See ya!